Hello, hello. Hope you all are doing well. Hi, everybody. I am Soleil, cover mother of Vision the Dawn Tour. I'm the founder and facilitator of the Charm School Mentorship Program. I am your weekly reader, and I'm also a dope bitch straight up out of Oakland. Hold on. There we go. Hope everybody's doing good. You know what it is, it's Sunday. We are here for the weekly energy reading. This is when I give you a little bit of insight about what the week ahead has in store for us. Hello, La Balin, good to see you. So I'm just going to jump straight into it. This is, again, a general reading for the energy of the week ahead. I know that we have the full moon in Aries tomorrow, and that's around 11:47 or something Eastern Standard Time. If you want a full in-depth breakdown of that, go look at the Astro Hour reading that I did earlier last week. We're going to focus on general observations about the week ahead this week. If you are here because you saw me post in a group that I will be taking questions from the audience, I definitely will. I always do. If it's your first time here, I just want to remind you that those questions come after I go through the general reading. We had about 4 spreads for the general reading that we need to get through. After that's done, I give announcements about things that I'm offering, and then I take questions from the audience. These are free questions. There's no pressure to give love offerings, but love offerings are deeply appreciated for the energy exchange and just for the support of me being able to continually do the lives. Okay? Now that I've said all that, let's go ahead and jump straight into the general reading. I forget what the name of this deck is. I haven't used it in a long time, and I used it in drill practice with some of my students tonight. So I'm going to give it a little bit of love and see what it has in store for us with the general reading. Wait, I'm jumping ahead. Wait, okay. Almost forgot about my Apollo. I knew something didn't feel right. I knew I felt like I was moving too fast. Hey, Nicole. Hey, Kodan. Hey, Tiffany. Hello, Renee. Good to see you all. As you come into the room, say hello. Talk to me. I talk back. Hit the scale emojis. The scales do give me support. They help me energetically just to make sure that I get through this. My energy is a little low today. My students know that. I damn near slept through our drill practice earlier because of how tired I am. But I knew that there's a lot of energy moving around this week, and I didn't want to not do the reading today. So that's why I forced myself to come on, even though my energy is a little low. So we'll go ahead and get started in just a moment. Have you guys seen that they just passed new cyberstalking laws? If people follow you from a bunch of different accounts or make fake pages to harass you online, it's possible for them to do up to 5 years in prison. That's crazy. That's crazy. But I'm glad to hear it. Hey, Dulcinea. Oh, thank you, Kodan. I appreciate you. This is one of my favorite dresses. I don't wear it often, but it's one of my favorites. Ancestors, angels, ascended master spirits that walk with me. Elevated ancestors, spirits that walk with me. What energy does the collective need? Or what understandings, what wisdom and information do the collective need about the week ahead of us, the week of October 6th through the 12th? Who do we need to be and what do we need to see about our habits, our environment, and our pattern that will allow us to gain mastery over the energies of the next 7 days? If there are any challenges, reveal them to us and give us wisdom around how to navigate them. If there are any breakthroughs or blessings coming our way, give us wisdom so that we know how to accept them in grace and gratitude. Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. That was a big stack of cards that fell out, so I'm going to put them back into the deck. It is good to know. It's really, really good to know. The amount of random pages with either AI images or no images at all that only have 3 and 5 followers that have popped up on my different accounts these last few months. Has been really, really interesting. So it'll be fun to see how that unfolds. Clarify the Three of Swords. What do we need to know about the Three of Swords? Any wisdom shared about the Three of Swords is deeply appreciated. Yeah. Whoever got in your head in the past and made you doubt yourself, you have to understand that A, they are in the past, and that B, this was probably stuff that they said to make you doubt yourself. So the more you sit in the doubt, the more you sit in the indecision, the more that they win. I think this is a week where it becomes very clear for a lot of us that the lack of progress we've experienced or felt is a direct result of self-doubt. And a lot is going to come in terms of clarity around this. And rather than it making you feel guilty, rather than it making you feel messed up, your spirits are hoping that this clarity gives you motivation to push through and go after the things you want. This is a week where it's really important to make sure that you turn your heartbreak into discipline. And rather than letting it be something that stagnates or confuses you, let it be something that motivates you. Because on the other side of that discipline and motivation is a lot of opportunity, is a lot of wealth, is a lot of forward progression. Also, just a lot of joy. Like, I get that a lot of us are not having fun right now. And it has to do with the fact that old information is looming around us, making us feel like we don't deserve. Ace of Swords, new insights, new downloads that are coming to us that really shift the way that we think and shift the way that we see a situation, right? I hadn't even seen your comment yet, Dulcinea. I hope that this this is helpful for you. I hope that this reading gives you some sort of support. And we can look into why that's been in a little bit. But the Ace of Swords typically comes through to let us know that we are going to gain new insights and new clarity. And the hope with all the aces is that that new energy, that new beginning, that new opportunity motivates us in order to embrace and welcome something new into our lives. For a lot of us, this is around our independence, right? It can be literally financial independence, being that this is the Nine of Pentacles, but it can also just be independence in terms of how we treat ourselves, how we nurture ourselves, how we water ourselves. It's no coincidence that most representations of the Nine of Pentacles shows someone in a garden, right? Because it's about reaping what you sow. It's about the bounty of taking good care of yourself, being focused on what belongs to you. And there are way too many of us that are carrying things, beliefs, old energy, old ways of being that don't belong to us, right? So the Nine of Pentacles, along with this Ace of Swords, is coming along to say that you'll have new and different if you allow yourselves to think differently and to release old thoughts. There is a call for heart chakra work. So some of us really need to pay attention to our heart right now. If we feel a lack of love, if we feel lonely, it's because our hearts are not open. And the more that open our heart is, the more we have trust, not just in ourselves, but in the people around us, the easier it is for us to even be able to receive blessings. If you know it's been a while since you've done any heart chakra work, really prioritize it this week, okay? Now in the bottom row, we have the Three of Swords. Heartbreak meant for maturation, but heartbreak that can really stall us, can get us wrapped up in the past, can get us hyper fixated and almost put us in an obsessive energy about things that didn't work out, about things that we had to lose, right? But the reality is that, yeah, it may have hurt you that you've lost something, whether it's a connection or an opportunity, but that loss was meant to teach you something about the ways in which your world is narrow, right? The hangman has to be put in suspension in order to see the fullness of their environment, to be able to see everything that's going on around them, right? And that paradigm shift allows them to step out of behaviors and actions that may be stagnating them, that may be making it hard for them to move forward. So for some of us who are watching this either live or in the replay, there's something we're hanging on to that we need to let go of. And once we let go of it, we'll be able to have a paradigm shift, to see things differently, to really embrace gratitude around the loss, and really allow our cups to be filled with things that are going to serve us, that are going to heal us, that are going to motivate us, as opposed to filling our cups with depression, sadness, hyperfixation on the past. Now, here's the thing, not gonna lie, this requires discipline. It requires a lot of discipline to be able to check your thoughts in the moment. It requires a lot of discipline to replace old programming with something new. But that discipline, that focus, and that drive is not only something that's going to bring you an opportunity to build the life you want for yourself, it's also a form of protection, right? And what do I mean when I say it's a form of protection? Well, a lot of you guys are emotionally worn out and run ragged because you're replaying deficit and fear from the past. You have voices of people that don't belong to you ricocheting all throughout your mind, and it's running you ragged. It's depleting your energy. It's making it hard for you to exercise resiliency and move forward. And it's putting some of you guys in fight mode, right? That's why this energy around the Ace of Cups is coming up. The more you nurture your heart chakra, the easier it is for you to trust as you move forward. So yeah, you may have lost some people or some opportunities, but if you can pull yourself out of this defeatist energy, this wounded warrior energy, you will be able to embrace opportunity and connection with new people. On autopilot, absolutely. Nine of Wands can represent somebody who is so wounded and so broken and so exhausted that they're just moving on autopilot. And that's a huge part of the problem for some of us. Of course, we can't bring in bounty. Of course, we can't bring in new opportunity if we're moving on autopilot. We're not inviting in new information. We're not allowing ourselves to see things differently. This sounds heavy, and for some of us it is. But for a lot of us, it really doesn't have to be. It really doesn't have to be. I think this understanding that change and release has to be painful is a huge part of the reason why some of us are avoiding it. And the Knight of Wands, which is literally the card of Aries, is coming up to say, hey, be adventurous. Let yourself have fun. Be in that exploration spirit around release, so that way you can move forward with joy instead of being stagnated and ruminating in the pain of your past. Okay? So to summarize this Aries full moon, as well as the energy of the week ahead, is really inviting us to open our hearts as well as our minds to new insights that are going to bring us closer to independent wealth, luxury, and abundance, that are going to bring us closer to joy. Because what's happening a lot right now is that too many of us, those who are watching either live or in the replay, are so busy replaying negative emotions, negative moments, negative things that have been said to us, that it's causing us, in the words of Dulcinea, to be on autopilot. And that autopilot energy is keeping us in a spirit of depression. It's keeping us in this space of perpetual hurt when it was never meant to be that. It was meant to be a lesson that was, yes, painful in and of itself, but it was a lesson that we learn and we move forward from. Okay? So this is about having the discipline to learn the lesson, be grateful for the lesson, even if the lesson came with a little bit of pain. Let it shift your paradigm and have the discipline to move forward, because we deserve joy. We deserve joy. Not only do we deserve joy, but the exploration about what's next is far more joyful than sitting in the rumination and the catastrophic thinking that comes with hyperfixating on the past. Okay? That is the general message. Flame from ashes. New phone, can't find the scales, but this reading resonates. The jerk texted me as you were calling him out. Okay. Flame from ashes. Let me know who you are. I feel like I've seen you here before, but I don't remember your name. But I'm grateful that the reading is resonating with you already. That's a good thing. That's a really good sign. So thank you for sharing that. Hello, Sanidra. Hello, Lovana. Thank you for joining us tonight. Let's look into love next. This feels right. I finally went ahead and posted for the Love and Sex Magic class. The link for that is in the description. So if any of you all want to join me in the Ladies of Charm School on the 22nd, there is an opportunity to join us for the Love and Sex Magic workshop. Once you pay for the course, you will receive an email from me that not only has the Zoom link to the class, but it will also have the supply list along with it. And then once the class is over, everybody who has paid for the class ahead of time will receive the replay after, okay? So let's get into love next. Let's see what the next 7 days have in store for us as it relates to love. It's a true heart. Like, I'm going to come back to this deck because I want to put some more energy and Ashe into her. But True Heart always feels the most accurate for love reading. So I'm going to switch over to this one. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits who walk with me, elevated ancestors. What wisdom do we as a collective need about love, romance, and matters of the heart as we go into the week of October 6th through the 12th? Please highlight the areas of life, the information that we need to receive so that we can have the experiences of love as well as be experienced by those we love in the ways we want to. Who do we need to be and what do we need to see about ourselves, our habits, and our environments that will allow us to align ourselves with the energy of love in all of its forms, whether it be romantic, communal, platonic, etc. Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. That is an interesting card. Keep the conversation going in the chat. If you have any questions about the reading or a card you want me to clarify, go ahead and put it in there. Flame from Ashes. Tell me a little bit more about this jerk that texted you. What's going on? What's going on? I'm nosy. I want to know what that's about. Oh, this is beautiful. I really love this for us. Okay. Some of you all, some of us who are watching this in the replay are really, really, really blessed to have people in our lives, particularly in our friendship circles, that have really beautiful relationships. And a huge part of what is going to motivate us, and this is both for those who are in relationship and who are single, a huge part of what is going to motivate us to be authentic in our love journey and that will help us get the results that we want is by not only paying attention to, but asking questions of those people that have the kind of relationships we want, right? Three of Pentacles is mutual exchange, right? It is collaboration, positive collaboration. It's being in community with people who want to see you win because they believe that when you win, they win, right? And it's interesting that this card is coming up because I had the revelation while having conversations with a few friends back home over this weekend. I didn't realize how many of my friends really want to see me happy in romance, right? They really believe I'm deserving of it. And I think that's a beautiful energy to have in your life. But it even means more when the people who feel that way for you have good relationships themselves, right? And Three of Pentacles is not only about teamwork and collaboration, it's about learning from the people that you are in community with, right? Their bounty pouring into you and vice versa. So this is a week where you really got to give yourself permission to really pay attention to the people that you're in community with that have beautiful relationships, that move with and through love in ways that are very, very beautiful, okay? Because there's lessons that you get to learn about reciprocity, right? I think when we say reciprocity is mutual exchange, it doesn't mean that it's always 50-50. Sometimes you can be in a partnership where it's your turn to give 70 and the other partner gives 30. Sometimes it's reverse, right? Reciprocity looks like different things for different people. But in order for you to attract this relationship that is reciprocal, you get certain lessons about what that looks like in real time, in action, from the people in your life that have the kind of relationships that you want. So this is very much a week where it's about observation and learning from observation, right? This is a week where it's important for you to reflect not only on the kind of love you want, but what it takes to get that, right? We know that the Knight of Pentacles is a very observant energy, and it's somebody who's taking inventory over what works and what does not work, particularly in their finances with the Pentacles or health. But this can be about love as well, right? There are certain things in terms of how you are thinking about or going about love that are not working, and that's okay. For a lot of us, that's the situation. So the Knight of Pentacles is saying, stop, reflect, look at the people who have situations that are working, and think about what it takes to call in that reciprocity in your romance. Another thing that's really important for you to understand is that the romance you pour into yourself is going to show up in your relationships. And this is very much a message for the people in coupledom, right? Going back to this Two of Cups, some of you guys are feeling drained in your romances because you're not treating yourself very well, right? The better you treat you, the easier it is for you to love other people. And not only to love other people, but to receive love from other people, right? Nine of Pentacles is a card of self-love and self-sufficiency. And with this being under the Three of Pentacles, yes, pay attention to your community so that you can get wisdom around how to move differently in love. But let that start with how you treat you, right? I was watching an interview with Kev on stage recently, and he was talking about how part of the reason that the pandemic put a lot of pressure on his marriage was because he and his wife had taken for granted just how much they had practices around their own self-care and pouring into themselves that were taken away during the pandemic, right? So when his wife would go and get her hair done once a week, not only was that an opportunity for her to beautify herself, but she would take herself to lunch. She would go to the park, right? So there was self-care built into her actions throughout the week that gave her energy to come back and be a whole person for her family. Same with him. He had things that he would do with his boys that would really enliven him, and he could come back and be a whole person for his family and for his relationship. I think sometimes we get so focused on the need and the desire for partnership that we forget that if we don't meet our own needs, we can come into a relationship from an energy of deficit, and that puts a lot of pressure on the other partner, right? So yes, pay attention to the relationships that are working in your life and what you can learn from them, but also use that wisdom to think about how good you need to treat yourself so that way you're stepping into your romance as a whole person, right? That is further confirmed by the Queen of Pentacles. Again, how does she have bounty? Why does she have bounty? Why is she so successful? Why does she attract so much favor? Because she treats herself really well. She takes good care of herself. She understands her sensuality and her needs. She dresses well. She beautifies herself. the better you treat you, the easier it's going to be not only for you to show your partners how to treat you, right? Because that's one of the things about the Queen of Pentacles. She treats herself so good that people won't even bring a whole bunch of bullshit to her. Because why would I expect the girl who just made filet mignon for herself last night for dinner to sit around and eat ramen packets with me? So people know to come to her with their best, right? Treat yourself good. Make sure that you're treating yourself good so that your emotional needs are met and you don't enter romance or bring romance. For those of you who are already in a relationship, you don't bring an energy of deficit into the relationship. But for those of you who are dating, you don't attract somebody who has the audacity to even want to bring you crumbs in the first place, right? We end with the Knights of Cups, the card of the romantic, the card of the creative, right? This is coming up for two reasons. Some of you guys have fallen out of alignment with your creative endeavors. So how that's shown up for you romantically, whether it's in dating or if you're already in a couple, how it's showing up in your relationship is that all y'all talk about is the bills and shit. Or you approach your romances, you approach your dates like they're job interviews. How much money do you make? When do you want to have kids? Nobody knows about the sensuality that lives within you. Nobody knows about the creativity that lives within you. Nobody knows about the passion that lives within you. If you want to be romanced, you have to be a romantic. And part of being a romantic is being tapped into the romance of life. What brings you joy? If you love to spend time at the river, tell your partner that. Tell the person you're on a date with, right? You have to be more wrapped up in the romance of what brings you joy so that you can even pour that into another person. You're upset that the person you're dating isn't bringing you flowers. How do they know that you even like flowers if you don't have flowers in your home? What is the whimsy that you're bringing into your life? How do you display that to other people? That's something that the Knight of Cups really asks us to think about. Now that I've gone through the spread, I deeply understand why that Eight of Pentacles fell out, right? Eight of Pentacles, refining a skill set, training yourself, right? Educating yourself so that way you can have more bounty in the future. Some of you guys may be feeling disconnected in your romances, or you feel like you're not getting satisfactory results from your dating because you haven't changed your strategy. Refine your strategy, move different, ask different questions, treat yourself differently, right? Don't show up to your dates in a fucking business suit. Like, if you want to be treated gently, show up in a way that is gentle. Show up like the person you want to be. But the Eight of Pentacles is saying that some of us have a little bit of refinement that we need to engage in when it comes to how we're moving through love in order for us to get different or better results, okay? All right, I'm going to switch back to the other deck. We're going to do money next, and then we're going to do health, and then we'll wrap up with questions from the audience, okay? I need to get back to that. Yeah, I think a lot of us, this has been a tough year. It's been a really tough year, and I think a lot of us, whether married, in a relationship, or single, have fallen to survival mode in a way that's not helpful. And when we fall in survival mode, we do the bare minimum, right? And so I think getting back to the space where you really allow romance and whimsy to be a part of how you move, how you treat yourself, will allow you to attract different in love and romance. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits that walk with me, my elevated ancestors. What do we as a collective need to know about waterfall? Money, prosperity, career, and abundance this week as we go into the week of October 6th through the 12th. Give us wisdom around how we need to strengthen or sustain our current relationship with money so that we can continue to have a good flow of it, a good relationship with it. If there are any habits that we need to release sustain, or increase in order to have a better relationship with money over these next 7 days. Please give us wisdom around that. What are the things we need to be doing, the prayers we need to speak, the actions we need to take to have access to the things we need, to have the types of provision we want? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Two cards fell out. I'm going to start with them. Gotta shit or get off the pot. And Spirit is saying go ahead and get off the pot for some of y'all, right? And get off the pot doesn't mean give up on the dream. It means give up on the indecision. Two of Swords. Some of us are not seeing the kind of financial progress we want because we're too scared to do a thing or to make a decision, right? So it's when you stop wallowing in indecision. It's when you take the risk and move forward that you'll be able to see different. Some of us need to leave something behind. There is a job or a venture, or for a lot of us, it's an emotion, a belief that we have about money that is no longer working for us. And it hasn't been working for a while. So let it go. Let it go. Have the strength to move forward and release. And in that release, see what gets opened up for you, okay? I see why these two cards fell out. There is a lot of confusion, a lot of choice paralysis, a lot of overthinking instead of just making a decision that's happening with a lot of us. And here's the thing. The reality is that we know if we choose the wrong cup, there's some difficulty that comes from it, right? Some of these cups have demons in it. Some of these cups have fists, right? Somebody may be offering you something and you know if you accept it, they're going to literally, that fist means they're going to beat you over the head about it, right? But some of us are turning away from opportunities that are tied to love and abundance, that rose, that heart, out of fear, right? There are snakes in the grass. That's why there's a snake in one of the goblets. Seven of Cups doesn't mean that you need to rush, but it does mean that you need to settle your emotions so you can see clearly, right? The avoidance, again, going back to that Two of Swords, is not helping you. But figure out what your fears are and calm them so that you can see clearly and make a decision as you move forward, right? That's why we have the Queen of Wands here, Queen of Confidence. Be self-assured. Also, feel worthy. Queen of Wands is also the card of worthiness. Some of you guys are avoiding making choices because you don't feel like you deserve them. There's a spirit of self-sabotage that lives within you that makes you believe that if you take the risk, it's not gonna work out for you. I was talking to a friend this week, and as we were talking over text, and as we were wrapping up the conversation, they said, "What's the best that can happen to you today?" Right? And it shifted something in me, because typically we say, "Well, what's the worst that can happen?" And for them to say, "Well, what's the best that can happen?" I was like, I need to start thinking that way. Instead of being so wrapped up in what I could potentially lose, what's the best that can happen? That is Queen of Wands energy. I deserve the best. I'm worthy of the best. When I walk into rooms, people are going to give me their best. You got to move with that energy, because not moving with that energy is a huge part of what's keeping some of us in this spirit of confusion, where even though we're being blessed with opportunity, we don't even know how to evaluate or go about it, right? There's a need for increased prayer as well as meditation over your finances. That's why we have the Temperance here, right? There's a stillness that's required this week. And that's a part of what's coming from the Seven of Cups as well. This is not a week about action. This is a week of revelation, right? So allow yourself to meditate. Allow yourself to be in visualization around the things you want. For some of us, the things we want are so much closer to us than we understand. But because we are overwhelmed by this emotional confusion, we don't really know how to engage in the process of alchemy to get it, right? So you got to be grounded, yes, but in the flow like water, so that you can get close to what it is you want, so that you can grasp what you want, as opposed to being in this energy where it's right next to you and you're so overwhelmed you can't get to it. We have both of the alchemy cards in this reading. Temperance is asking us to be still, to be reflective, so that we can see what we need to create through conjure. Magician is calling us to believe in ourselves and believe that our tools and our powers are strong. Some of us are waiting for somebody to gift us with a financial blessing. Some of us are waiting for a promotion or for somebody to hand us money. We have the capacity to make the changes we want in our lives, but you have to believe in the strength of your own tools in order to move forward in a way where you can do that. Okay? A lot of you are not doing proper work around your finances. Some of you guys are hopping on, this spirit is, okay, I'm going to say it, even though you don't want to hear it. Some of you guys are doing old work around your finances. You're still burning the same candles and writing the same petitions that you wrote 10 months ago. Spirit says some of y'all 10 years ago, right? Part of being the magician is being current and updating your software, updating your tools, updating your conjure to meet yourself where you are. And this is under that 7 of Cups. That's why so many of you guys are confused. That's why so many of you guys don't know how to move forward. Because in your prayers, in your conjure, you're asking for shit that you either already have or that's right next to you. So the magician is coming along, and I always say this, I don't know why people don't remember this. The magician is a card of self-study. There's a lot of study and evaluation that goes on behind the scenes with them before you see the parlor trick, right? So with this being under the 7 of Cups, your spirits are asking you to ask yourself, is your conjure even matching what you need right now in terms of money, in terms of provision, in terms of your finances? We have the 2 of Cups. You don't have to take from everybody. If you are going to accept support from someone, make sure it's mutually beneficial. Some of us are in a position where we are either working with people or we have clients that think they're doing us some sort of favor by seeking our services. And that's a huge part of what has brought this deficit energy, that 7 of Cups energy, into our financial life. Because people have you fucked up and you've allowed it to have yourself fucked up, right? Be so confident. Again, this is under the Queen of Wands. Be so confident that you only allow yourself to work with people who understand reciprocity, who understand your worth, who understand that you have something to pour into them, just as they pour into you, right? That's what I mean when I say don't just take things from anybody. Some of us know and we can feel it in our bones when somebody gives us an offer. This person is going to wield this over my head. This person is going to make me regret this. Pay attention to that energy. It will save you a lot of pain later. Whatever little bit of money comes from that, it's not worth it, okay? And you have to do this with complete confidence that this brings you closer to building the future you want for yourself. Again, Page of Wands. You have a big imagination. And when you allow your mind to run wild and you think about the person you want to be and who you want to be in your future, you've got big ideas about it, right? This week of October 6th to the 12th is here to teach us who we need to be emotionally and how that comes through in our passions and our actions, right? So pay attention to those lessons. Now I understand why these 2 cards jumped out. Some of us are allowing us to surround ourselves with people who keep us confused, and that confusion makes it hard for us to make decisions. So we have to step away from that confusion, leave that in behind, leave that in the past, and trust that in restarting, we will get closer to what we want. Some of you guys are hanging on to shit that's not working anymore because you're afraid of a restart. But if you have trust in yourself, emotional confidence, and a belief that you are deserving, how can it work out in your best interest, right? If you believe that, then you're willing to change the way and update your conjure in a way where you can be grounded and in the flow at the same time. And it's going to bring you closer to these dreams that you have about what you want for your financial future. I want to point out that there's not a single Pentacles card in this reading. And whenever I do a finance reading and there's no Pentacle cards, I have to point that out. The reason why I point that out, all we have here, we have one sword card, but it's mostly cups and wands. What's going on with your emotions that's making it hard for you to take action? What do you need to heal in terms of your heart and how you hold your feelings? What feelings don't belong to you? What emotions don't belong to you? How is that impacting your ability to take action and go after what you want when it comes to your wealth, when it comes to your financial comfort? Those are the things you need to be focused on this week. Okay? Let's get into this health reading, and then I'll take a few questions from the audience before we part ways for the night. Ancestors, angels, and master spirits walk with me, elevated ancestors. What do we as a collective need to know about our health and wellness as we go into the week of October 6th through the 12th? Give us insight into how to have good actions, habits, as it relates to our mental, physical, and spiritual health and wellness. Who do we need to be? What do we need to see about ourselves, our habits, our environment, our perspectives that will allow us to have a good balance and harmony of our holistic health? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Hey, JL, good to see you. Hello, Empress. YouTube is a hater and not sending notifications. Yeah, it's also, my channel's small. I get lost in the algorithm a lot. And that's a huge part of the reason why I typically don't beg for followers. And I'm trying to get better about, okay, asking people to bring their friends or to share these links with people is not begging. I'm trying really hard to, I suck at asking for things. It's my Virgo moon, okay? But I want to grow this channel. And part of the reason why I want to grow this channel is because I get lost in the algorithm. Like, even people who are subscribed to my channel don't often get the notifications. And the bigger my channel gets, the easier it'll be for people to find me. So I'm really trying to work on that between now and the end of the calendar year. I feel like, especially the message in the first row, this has come up a couple of times. If you have been getting sick, if you have been feeling drained, if your energy is low and depleted, it's because the people closest to you and around you have unhealthy habits, and it's always going to be hard to change your habits when you are surrounded by people who only want to do poverty mindset shit, right? Spend more time around your friends who want to work out, who want to go on walks, who want to find good hiking trails. Spend more time with your friends who want to go to the health food store, right? I remember when I first met Venus, she was really excited about going to this particular nutrition club out here in Atlanta. And that made me so happy because I was curious about that fucking nutrition club too, but I didn't have anybody to go with. And so that was one of the things we bonded over, right? Some of us, again, Five of Pentacles is poverty mentality. So really watch your thoughts this week because your thoughts do impact your health. but also pay attention to who you spend the most time with and around, right? It's really easy to fall into bad health habits when we spend most of our time around people who fall into bad health habits, right? Um, don't keep going out for ice cream with people after you work out. Like, just pay attention to those things, right? When you surround yourself with people who have good, healthy habits, it brings a lot of health and forward movement to you, right? This is two things. A, yes, you need to be working out with your friends. That's just the long and the short of it. That's why the Six of Wands is here. You're going to be much more motivated to be engaged in physical activity if you were. And here's the reason why this is coming up. Spirit told me to go back to the Five of Pentacles. These people are in the snow here, right? It's about to get cold. We are in fall. The weather is already dropping. It's been rainy and gloomy all day in Atlanta. And so I don't know what the weather is like where you are, but this has been the first few days where it hasn't been hotter than Satan's balls out here, right? Some of you guys, especially in the fall and winter months, you're going to spend way more time in your house. So the reason why this message around being careful with the friends that you spend the most time with is coming up. It's not to say fall out with your people. That's not a healthy thing to do. But if you are around people that are physically motivated, they're going to tell you what the things are to do to be physically active even when it's cold outside, right? It's about to be cold as balls, so you may not want to go to the river or go on a hike, but there may be a kickboxing class. There may be a Pilates class, right? A yoga studio. The more you are around other people that are in physical activity, the easier it's going to be for you to get out there, and you'll still be able to hit your physical milestones. This is the other message around this, is that some of you all are not moving your body enough. And because you're not moving your body enough, it's really hard for you to go after your goals. Remember, Six of Wands is a card of not only influence, but milestone meeting, right? And so, yes, it's easier to sit around and ruminate when you're not moving your body. So get up and move your body more. The reason why some of you guys aren't moving your body enough is because you have shit on your plate that doesn't belong to you. Again, Ten of Wands is the card of Erykah Badu's Bag Lady. You're so distracted with other people's shit, and you're so distracted with things from the past, that it's hard for you to take on that new action. It's hard for you to take good care of your body, right? So start thinking about what you can unburden yourself with in terms of distraction, so that you even have more of a focus on how to take good care of your health, right? We have the Four of Cups. Again, Four of Cups under the Five of Pentacles. This is not going to be a good winter to sit around in your ruminations. It's not. Not only will it make you emotionally sick, it will make you physically sick, right? So I know that I asked about the week ahead, but the Spirit is telling you what you need to start doing now and the things you need to make a habit this week so that you don't carry it into the winter and make yourself sick. Okay? And the more you spend ruminating over the past, what hasn't worked out, the easier it's going to be for you to hide in your house in isolation. And just be careful about that, okay? Six of Cups. Do your shadow work now, right? Do your shadow work now, yes, but also going back to this conversation of increasing physical activity and being active with friends, the positive nostalgia of the Six of Cups is saying there's some sort of physical activity or habit that you used to engage in with people that you don't do anymore. And it's something that feeds your inner child or a younger version of yourself. I just got a vision. I went to a trampoline place a couple years ago with some friends, and I think I need to go back and do that. That shit was so fun, right? What can you do in terms of not just thinking about physical activity and thinking about it being straining, but how can it feed your nostalgia? How can it feed your inner child? How can it bring you joy, right? Let yourself have that. Another reason why this is coming up as warning is because Six of Cups is also a card of overindulgence. And we don't think about it that way. We're about to enter the holiday months, right? And so the message here is, rather than feeding your nostalgia literally, by eating a bunch of cakes and cookies and pies and fucking stuffing and shit. That's not going to help you in the long run. Feed your nostalgia by picking up on those activities you used to do with people that really brought you a lot of joy. Okay? This is coming up so that you don't sabotage yourself. Be strategic, don't sabotage yourself. That's the message of Seven of Swords. Sometimes we think that in being manipulative and getting over in a situation that we are winning, but sometimes we're just sabotaging ourselves. And for this to come right after the Six of Cups, again, it may feel good to, be a little lazy during the winter months, but in the long run, that's not going to help you, right? Spirit, I need to pull, I'm going to use Game of Thrones because I haven't used it in a while. I feel like I got to pull clarifiers over the Seven of Swords. Clarify the Seven of Swords a little further. What is the Seven of Swords trying to tell us about our health and wellness? Okay. It's further solidifying what I said about the Ten of Wands. The Seven of Swords is under the Ten of Wands. Okay? The self-sabotage that some of us engage in is, oh, I'm so busy and I'm so worn out. I don't have time for the gym. I ain't got time for no kickboxing class. I ain't got time for X, Y, and Z. But yet you had time to be in everybody's business. Yet you had time to gossip on the phone. I had to let go of a student earlier this year because they never had time to come to class. And they got to the point where they were making me feel like what I was offering wasn't shit. But they had time to call me in the middle of the week and give me sob stories about bullshit. And whenever they would call me, they would be on the phone literally for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. Okay, you have time to call me out of nowhere and throw Mary, Jesus, and Joseph under the bus. But you don't have time to attend a class. You don't have time to attend your consultations. You don't have time to do the overdone assignments and spell work that you should have did months ago, right? Some of us have poor priorities, and those poor priorities are becoming a form of self-sabotage. So stop distracting yourself with bullshit and everybody else's stuff, because it's only leading you to distraction and inaction. This is about taking control, magician, of your personal power when it comes to your health and wellness. The long and the short of it, this is your last chance to get real with yourself about how you treat your body before we go into the fall and winter months. We're already in fall. And right after fall comes winter. It's only going to get colder. It's only going to get harder. So the excuses that you have right now will become bigger barriers if you carry them into the winter. The inactivity you carry into the winter is worse. The overindulgence on food and drink to cope with your nostalgia is only going to get worse when we get into the fall. So confront that now. Get real with yourself now. Exercise your power over that now so that you don't end up feeling self-sabotaged. And then by the time February comes around, when you're a little thicker or you wheezing going up a half a flight of stairs, you understand, I could have done better. I could have broken my self-sabotage in October so that I didn't carry those habits into the months where it's colder and it's harder. Okay? We are now at the end of the general reading, and I'm happy to take questions from the audience. As you are typing out your questions in the comments section, I'm going to go ahead and give updates on the things that I'm working on. Need to control reaching for wine when stressed. Child, I would tell you not to do that, but It's rare that I get on here and read for y'all and I don't have a little something to sip on. And it could not be wine for other people. Whatever it is. For me, I bake a lot in the winter. I bake a lot. And I'm trying to work on that because it's just me in this house. I can't bake all the cookies. You know what I mean? So just being really, really mindful for that. I need to switch out smoking for eating. I would love to be thick come February. Girl. Go there. I mean, maybe, maybe a benefit to some people. It depends on what the vice is and what if it works for you, Ma, it works for you. All right, go ahead and put your questions in the comments. As you're putting your questions in the comments, I'm going to go ahead and give you all updates on the things that I'm working on. Again, I've gone ahead and created the link for the Fire and Desire Love and Sex Magic workshop. That will be October 22nd at 8 p.m. EST. If you would love to learn more about love magic, how it is different from sex magic, and also how to create a potion that will help you with both love and sex magic, sign up for the workshop. Now, part of the reason why I'm teaching this workshop is not just to flex my knowledge, but because, and I've said this before in previous readings, a lot of, in my early spiritual training, what I was taught sex magic was actually limerence magic. A lot of what people are taught is sex magic, or not sex magic, is love magic, is not love magic. It's limerence and lust magic. So in this workshop, you will learn the difference between all three. You will learn how to approach love and sex magic ethically. I will teach you how to make a potion that is very, very, very potent. And we will talk about what it means to use your personal erotic energy to not only attract love and lust if you want it, but to use it to manifest other things as well. This is $75 workshop. When you enroll in the class, you will get the link to the Zoom as well as the supply list for the class, okay? So if you want to join us for that on October 22nd, go ahead and click the link below to sign up. I have to charge for this class. I just do. This is information that I've had to do a lot of work. I've had to do a lot of self-study, a lot of self-study and a lot of training around. This is wisdom that was not taught to me, unfortunately. It actually goes against some of the things I was taught, right? And I had to, unfortunately, lean into the stuff I was taught, understand the problems that comes with it, and refine based on that. So just sign up for the class. It's going to be bomb as fuck, okay? Rich Spirit. Final round of Rich Spirit is going to be November 10th through the 13th. The deadline to sign up is November 8th. If you know that you have financial blockages and you know that there are big things in terms of financial breakthrough that you are trying to call in 2026, enroll in Rich Spirit. Now, here's what I will say. I've had a lot of success with Rich Spirit. I have unfortunately had a round that did not go well, and that was because people lacked fucking direction, okay? Rich Spirit is not something that you do and you just, money falls out the sky. No prosperity work works that way. You have to know what you want to release. You have to know what you want to embrace, and you cannot be lazy, okay? But if you know that you have some things that you want to see movement on, you're trying to get a new job, you're trying to get funding for a business, you're trying to buy a house, you want to refinance, whatever it is, join Rich Spirit. It works if you work it, okay? You guys, my Venmo as well as my PayPal are scrolling below. So if you have questions, again, I will answer your questions, but don't be spiritually stingy. Send your love offerings, okay? Join us for Rich Spirit. It will bring change into your financial health. Some of you guys have blockages. You're burning candles, you're making lamps, you're doing things to call in money, and it's not working. That's because you may have an unaddressed blockage. So Rich Spirit is designed not only to help you identify your blockages, but help you figure out what you need to do to remove them and give you wisdom about how to move forward with your execution, okay? Grace and Gratitude starts November 1st. The deadline to sign up is October 31st. $15 for a 21-day prayer program that also comes with weekly sound healing. So join me and Huzi Aja for that, okay? I've also, in light of the Scorpio Mars transit and the fact that we are still dealing with impacts of eclipse season up until the 21st of October, I have extended the discount on shadow work consultations. So you can still get your shadow work consultation for $80 this month. The link to that is below as well. That's everything that I'm aware of that I'm working on. I do have a product that's launching in a couple of weeks. I'm going to hold off on talking about that until I have everything complete with it, but keep your eyes and your ears open for that as well, okay? So let's see. What questions do people have for me? Dulcinea wants to know, what do her ancestors want her to focus on? Okay. Thank you, Sanidra. I didn't put my Cash App in the description this week because I thought I was going through issues with my Cash App, but apparently it's working. So thank you for sending your love offering through Cash App. I appreciate it. Anyone else who wants to send a love offering, you can use my Cash App if you remember it, but my Venmo and my PayPal are both scrolling below. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits that walk with me. What do the ancestors want Dulcinea to know? What do they want her to focus on at this time? And your wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. I have you next, JL, okay? It's funny, I kept using the word whimsy earlier, and that's what they want you to focus on. They really want you to focus on romance and whimsy, right? The more in the spirit of romance you are, the easier it is for you to not only attract romance, but for you to really exercise your creative imagination. It's not just the next few weeks. I think the rest of this calendar year is going to be ripe with opportunities for you to have a lot of breakthrough when it comes to your creative endeavors. And so they really want you to be tapped into the joy of life so that you can get that wisdom and information. The people in your immediate environment who really believe in you, they're also going to be supporting you with this. You have a lot of people that root for you. A lot of people that root for you and want to see you win. And they will also cultivate and create an environment for you to nurture your creative endeavors. So I'm looking forward to that. But this is a season of goal execution for you, but it's not goal execution in that emperor way. It's in the chariot way, where as long as you believe in the back of your mind that success belongs to you, it's easier for you to be explorative about life. And it's easier for you to be open to what comes to you. Instead of getting wrapped up on the bumps in the road, you'll just be grateful for all the experiences because you'll believe that they're going to bring you closer to what you want. So I see the rest of fall going into winter being a really delicious time for you as it relates to creativity, connecting with people, being in community with people that really believe in you and want to see you win. That's what I see for you, Dulcinea. I saw your question, Empress. I just wanted to start. I'm going in the order with which they were written. So we have JL next. I believe you were right after JL, if I'm remembering correctly. Yes, it's JL, then you, then Then Tiffany. Okay. What does Spirit advise that I do to move me into earning money? How can I overcome my fear of losing my benefits by starting to earn money from my business? Okay. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits, walk with me. My elevated ancestors. What wisdom does JL need that will allow her to start earning money from her business? What will allow her to release her fear that she'll lose benefits if she earns money? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. You really, and see, it's interesting because as I was shuffling and praying, I started to feel discomfort in my gut. And I've said before that I'm clairsentient, right? You really got to work on your internal confidence. You may want to start doing some solar plexus work because your self-belief is your biggest impediment. What I get from the Six of Pentacles is that you have to believe, and that this is with the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords, nightmare energy. Fear. Stop replaying your fears around where you were in the past. The more you stay up at night thinking that you're going to go backwards, the more likely you are to call that in for yourself. But the Six of Pentacles is coming in to say that whatever money you are getting from institutions, you have to believe that you're going to get that from your clientele, right? Six of Pentacles is a card of it's not just charity in the sense of I'm getting charity from It's charity in that people are going to pour into you and your needs are going to be met, right? And you have to have such a deep sense of self-belief, Queen of Wands, that you don't believe that you need to be dependent on an institution in order to have the things that you want and need. So this is a battle about inner confidence. This is a battle about emotional confidence and self-belief. That's why I'm recommending that you really, really do some solar plexus work. Because, again, if you believe that you deserve it and you believe that you are capable, the universe is going to meet you in that energy. And again, you have a business that people need. You know, you're not selling, cat nail polish. And I'm not even shitting on cat nail polish because that is a thing and it's fucking fresh. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen soft claws, but that stuff is cute, right? You are giving something to people that is an actual need and a necessity. So you have to work on not being your biggest impediment. That's literally the only thing that's standing in between you and making money from your business. That, and if you have the belief that you won't have enough without an institution, then you will create that as your reality, okay? Hello, Berserker Magica. Hello, Astera. Thank you for joining us tonight. Alrighty. So there was JL. Then there was JL and then Empress. Empress wants to know if they should communicate with their dad's family. I got you. Ancestors, angels, and master spirits, with me, elevated ancestors. Should Empress communicate with her father's family? If so, why? If not, why not? What would be the benefits of communicating with them? What would be the deficits? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. My sister used to bake. It was very warm. I love baking. I absolutely love baking. And when I was living back home in the Bay, it was fine. And that's because when I was in the Bay, I worked for other people. I spend the majority of my day by myself. I mean, my babe comes over, but he's one person. Both his kids are in college. So You know, we can't eat whole. I would love to eat whole loaves of sourdough, but we shouldn't be eating entire loaves of sourdough. So I don't bake nearly as much as I would like to. And the holidays always, because that was how I bonded with my family. I remember being around. We would do movie nights, and then I would bake cookies, or I would make a cake. And I'm one of 10 kids, so that shit got eaten up like immediately. I've always worked in big office settings before I started working for myself. So if I made 2 dozen chocolate chip cookies, I would just take them to work. And then by the time that every coworker got one, they were gone. I can't do that here like that, so, but it is something that I miss. It is something that I miss tremendously. I see yes, baby. I see yes. There is a desire for them to connect with you. You are missed. And even if there has been any negativity from the past, I think that people are at a space where they're ready and willing to confront it and make amends, right? Remember, the Lover's card is about understanding that your actions have, what you do in a partnership or in a commitment has consequence over the other person. So whatever insensitivities or weirdness that may have happened in the past, not only are they in a place where they can address it, but they won't replicate that anymore moving forward. I see you being given some sort of apologies or some sort of offers of reconciliation from your father's side, because Knight of Cups can represent a peace offering, somebody who wants to make peace with you. And then Nine of Cups is the card of gratitude and wish fulfillment, right? You're asking this question because there's something about the energy of your previous interactions that's held you back from interacting with them. I see that not being the situation. I see as you go forward that it's going to be a lot more peace, and you'll be grateful for reconnecting with them. That's what I see for you, Empress. I love that for you. I think reconciling with family when it can be positive is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And so I hope that that's how it works out for you. Sell them, you know how many people don't want to bake or go to the store, ma'am. Mambo Soleil Sweets. That's actually a really good idea. I should do magical baked goods. That would actually be kind of dope. Oh my God. I really do love baking. I love baking. I love cooking. I'm actually, and not to toot my own horn, but beep beep, I'm fucking good at it. I'm an amazing cook. I'm an even better baker. I thank you, thank you. I'm gonna sit with that. I feel like that is a message from one of the spirits that I'm working with currently right now around breakthrough. And I'm going to sit with that because that feels right. That actually feels really, really good. Thank you. Thank you for that idea. That's a blessing. That was a blessing. Thank you. Okay. So I believe Tiffany is next. Yes, Tiffany is next. Should I have Spice Time with Noel to release? I feel like my ancestors want me to. I love these kind of questions. Let me switch to millennial. Daphne's right. Let me switch to millennial. And I like that you call it Spice Time. Ancestors, angels, and city masters, spirits will walk with me. Should Tiffany have Spice Time with Noel? Is this something that her spirits are in agreement with? If so, why? If not, why not? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. I ain't even pulled the cards yet, and the star card fell out. Star card is a very favorable sex card if you don't know. I need to do a tarot, sex and tarot class, because I've been listening to people misinterpret certain cards a lot when it comes to sex and love, and I think people need help in terms of those interpretations. But let's see. Let me pull a clarifier. Clarify the Two of Swords. What do we need to know about the Two of Swords? Yeah. The reason why you don't want to do this or that you're on the fence about it is because you feel like it's going to fuck up the friendship. And that's not the case, right? Star card again, hope and faith in the future, a longing, longevity, peace after a time of stillness, right? Or a time of disruption. So you guys are gonna be friends after this. It's gonna be cool, right? There's no need to even worry about that particular energy. But again, you've been on the fence about this for a while. And with this being clarified by the Chariot and the Page of Pentacles, not only is this about you learning how to not overthink your desire with the Page of Pentacles, right? Page of Pentacles being apprenticeship, also somebody who's learning how to show up in their body differently. The Chariot is saying, go for it. Go for it and let this happen. That Page of Pentacles is coming up a second time. So again, this is a lesson about you not overthinking your desires that needs to happen. The only reason why you are afraid to do this is with the Moon card, is that there's some sort of, you may have had an experience in the past where you trusted someone in this way and they were weird about it. But again, like I feel like I'm always quoting that song "Previous Cats" by Music Soul Child, right? It's really important that you not project those fears onto this particular interaction, okay? So the long and short, I say go for it. This seems like you should go for it. Another thing about the Page of Pentacles is that respectfully, you will get your needs met if you're picking up what I'm putting down. So I say go for it. I say that this will allow, the friendship will be fine afterwards. This is not somebody that's going to make it weird, which I think is a huge part of the fear that you have. Go for it. Let it happen. Alrighty. So after Tiffany, we had, I think I can do maybe 3 more people today. I'm going to try to do 3 more and then I'm going to wrap up. I'm dealing with a painful ascension symptom of something else my body is there something else my body is trying to show me? You're welcome, Tiffany. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits, walk with me, elevated ancestors. What can you tell us about these ascension symptoms that La Balin is dealing with? Is this just related to the ascension, or is her body trying to tell her something else? What's going on? What is the wisdom that she needs to walk away with at this time? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Adelaida, did you put your question in the comments already? Because I don't think I saw your question. Adelaida, please put your question in the comments so that I can get to you. I want to make sure that I do address the people that sent love offerings. You don't take good care of yourself, and I don't mean that. That sounded harsher than I needed to land. You are definitely not getting enough sleep, and you are good in terms of physical or spiritual discipline, but you're not good with your physical discipline. And I specifically am talking about the sleep and the self-care. So your body is trying to tell you that you're fucking tired, baby. Your body's trying to tell you that you are worn out. And when we are severely worn out and we are trying to do personal spiritual transformation, it's going to wreck the body harder, right? 4 of Wands, self-care, a need for sleep, rest after battle. However much you're sleeping or you think you're getting enough sleep, you're not. You need to add at least an additional 2 hours a night to what you are getting, right? And it's no coincidence that this is coming up because the spiritual ascension is a form of spiritual warfare and battle. And when we do not rest after battle, we make ourselves worse for the wear, and then it becomes difficult for the next battle that we go into, right? Page of Wands. You need to keep a journal. right, about your symptoms, and you need to translate that into information that you then put into your grimoire, Hierophant. Okay? So, yes, you are learning a lot about how your body handles spiritual download and transformation, but rather than getting freaked out by it, you have to turn it into wisdom so that you can not only use it to teach other people, but that you can understand what to expect when your body goes through really, really big transformations, right? Um, I'm not going to say in detail what it is, but I'm going to try to share this in a way that's as stealthy as I can. There are certain parts of nature that when I go to them and when I spend time in them, I really can't eat meat that day. If I eat meat that day or the day after, it fucks with my body a lot. It spikes my blood pressure. It just makes me really sick, right? So I know that when I have to do rituals and things that involve me going to that part of the world or that part of the land, that is something that I have to adjust in my diet, right? Those things are part of being a priestess. They're the boring parts of being a priestess, right? But they're just as important as the other shit. So your body is trying to tell you that there's things that you need to alter in your physical regimen when you're having these kind of breakthroughs so that you are better prepared, because it's not like this is the only time it's going to happen in your life. As long as we are living, every day we spend above the ground, we are going to have spiritual experiences and we're going to have transformation. The only time you stop transforming is when you're dead. Okay? So this is giving you an opportunity to learn how to prepare your body better for these experiences. I hope that that makes sense. Let me know if that resonated with you, okay? Adelaida, is there anything I should be doing differently to get more steady income and romantic love into my life? Or should I just continue my morning practice and be patient? Okay, I think that's a great question. Give me 1 second. I love that y'all don't listen. I love y'all so much. Y'all are such creatures of habit. Y'all, y'all didn't pay no attention to the banner scrolling below, but I love y'all so much. Okay. After Adelaida, I'll scroll back up and answer questions from a couple more people. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits that walk with me. Is there anything additional that Adelaida needs to be doing to call in love and finances? What will allow her to bring in not only steady income, but steady love and romance? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Which one of y'all is Sandra Herndon? Because I don't think you use your real name on here, Sandra. I ain't heard from you in so damn long. How you been? Oh, you rewrote the question. Okay, I can do another question for you, Lavalin, since that wasn't the question that you had. If you don't mind putting your rewritten question in the comments, I'll come back to you after I get through a couple of other people, okay? The wheel is about to turn in your favor naturally, baby, but you really got to spend this time to work on your heartbreak. You are still upset and resentful. And that resentment is showing up in your energy. Work on your gratitude affirmations. I would encourage you to maybe spend some time at the river. If you can't spend some time at the river, then at least try to bring more like roses, if not roses, then sunflowers into your home. But I think the main thing you have to work on is your patience and your It's really important for you to not let what you experience or you feel are delays bring you into a spirit of ingratitude, right? Because again, the wheel is about to turn in your favor. Things are about to shift. That's the part of life. Sometimes things are out of our favor, and then sometimes they're in our favor. And when we're in a period where it feels like it's not in our favor, it's really easy to feel like our prayers are falling on deaf ears or we're doing something wrong. You are absolutely not doing anything wrong. You're just waiting for the tide to shift for you and making sure that in the moment of waiting, you are still grateful, you still trust your spirits, you still believe that your cups are going to become full. It's really important to do that because any depression or fear or hyperfixation on what has gone wrong is only going to cause further delays, right? And that's why I say if you can't get to the river, bring flowers and things into your house more often. Four of Wands is a card of not just homecoming, it's about nesting. So if I would give you information about something you need to do different in the house, the main thing is to make sure that your home environment is reflecting energetically how you want to feel as you go into the next into this next chapter. But community is really about to pick up for you, right? Some of the people that you've given or that you've let know in the past few months that you're looking for full-time work, they're about to circle back for you. So things are about to shift. I keep noticing fives everywhere. I'm going to teach a class on the fives because I think we have a really fucked up understanding of the fives. It's not just you, right? Fives aren't just chaos. They aren't just difficulty. They are a clearing, right? The fives are telling you about what needs to be cleared out before you can go into that sixth energy of abundance, right? Five of Pentacles is saying, look at your circle. Stop hanging around difficulty or poverty mindset. Five of Swords is saying, hey, you may have been victimized, but what's the strategy for you to move beyond the victimhood, right? Five of Cups is, look, you got to shake off these negative memories and you got to stop hyperfixating on these negative memories because if you don't, you're not going to be able to take on the bounty that you still have and that's coming to you, right? So I understand if you're seeing fives everywhere, but you're seeing fives everywhere because they're trying to get you to, instead of focusing on the pain and focusing on the heartbreak and focusing on what you may have lost, prepare for the change that's coming. Yeah, they mean change. They mean change. And they're giving you wisdom about what you need to embrace in order to be prepared for the change. Absolutely. Okay? I hope that was helpful. I hope that made sense. Laba Lynn, did you type out your new question or your second question? Astera wants to know, how should I be calling in sources of income right now? I got you. I was born on January 5th, so I guess I was born needing to clear some shit. That's not what that means. That is not what that means. I don't know what birth card February or January 5th is. But I feel like it's a positive one. I feel like it's either a queen or a 10, if I'm not mistaken. If anybody has the Cards of Humanity book, help Renee out and look up January 5th. But it's not an inherently bad day. Don't do that. Ancestors, angels, master spirits walk with me. How does Astera call in new streams of income? What are the new sources of income that they need to call in, and how do they bring that in? What do they need to do? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. Astera, have you ever done nonprofit work? Is that something that you have an interest in? Clarify the Six of Pentacles. Give us further wisdom about the Six of Pentacles. You're afraid of starting a side business, even though it's going to be, not only will it generate profit, it will, there's money that you can get from institutions through small business loans, through grants that will really fund it. Even if this is not your primary source of income, I tell everybody, have a business, right? I don't care if you have an amazing 9 to 5 where you make $250,000 a year, you should still have an LLC. You should still have an Etsy shop, a shop, something that you can fall back on, something that can bring in, preferably a passive source of income, but something that you can default to when times get hard. And that is the wisdom that's coming up. If you don't already have your own business, start it and trust and believe that there is going to be funding available. There are loans, there's money from an institution that's there for you. The other side of the Six of Pentacles is you may want to consider some sort of nonprofit work. There's some sort of job where you can literally be the charity or pour into other people through your efforts that you will actually really excel at. And not only will you do well at it, it will bring in new opportunities for you, right? You are not meant to be somebody who works in isolation. Trying to work in isolation actually brings you a lot of like disconnection and confusion. So even though you should be starting this business, having some sort of other venture, even if it is just 15 or 20 hours a week where you are working in community, is going to be really helpful for you, not only mentally and socially. There are skills that you will pick up from working in that environment that you can monetize in the other areas of your life. It's also going to expand your social circle because you will be around like-minded people that can put you on to other opportunities, right? Three of Pentacles is literally like, I always say it's getting money with friends, but it's more than that. It's people who speak hella positively about you in rooms that you yourself are not in, right? I've had this happen a lot, especially since I've gone into my business. I tell you guys all the time, yes, I do streaming, and yes, I have a website, and yes, I do YouTube, but the majority of my business comes from word of mouth, right? And it's the friends that I've had since I started doing readings publicly back in 2000, about to say 2009, 2019 and 2020, that, I mean, to this day, I'll get a random text message. Hey, Jessica gave me your number. I hope it's okay that you've contacted me. Hey, I'm a friend. I go to church with Michelle, and she told me to reach out to you because I'm going through this thing with my husband. Random people will contact me, and these are friends that I've known from the beginning, right? But these are my Three of Pentacles friends. So to answer your question, whatever this business idea that you have, you said, I haven't really tried. Now's the time to try. Now's the time to try. Go ahead and try and research the grants and the loans and the things that you can have to fund it, right? I think a lot of people are afraid to start their own business because they're like, well, you know, what if I don't make any money? Most people don't make any money from their businesses in the beginning. Most people don't. Most people fund their businesses through business loans and opportunities. Like, most of these, Stripe and all these other companies have small business loans that they give to people. So go ahead and start the business and really trust that it's going to be good. While you're doing that, Find some sort of part-time job at a nonprofit, at an organization that does something that you really, really care about, and strengthen and expand your social circle, because that social circle is going to be instrumental in putting you up on game around other ways to bring in resources and make money, okay? I hope that that made sense. Sanidra, did you have a question, baby? I feel like I skipped you. That wasn't my intention. Let me know if you had a question, because I don't think I saw it. Have you ever did a how it started and how it's going? It can be an introduction to your new Why you are just really sitting here? Are you supposed to be my business coach and I don't know about it? You done gave me 2 amazing ideas already tonight. No, I haven't. I have not sat down and done like an actual how it started, but that is a great idea, because a lot has changed in my life in these last 4 years. That's a really dope idea. That is a dope idea. Thank you for that. Thank you. I'm going to start baking enchanted cookies. I'm going to do my how it started versus how it's going class. I'm excited. I am excited. I can definitely do that. That is a great idea. Let's see. Sanidra, I'm just scrolling through to see if you had a question, because, okay, I found you, baby. I found you. What do my ancestors, hold on a second. Go back down. That actually may be my free class for next month. Okay, what do my ancestors, I'm going to wrap up with you, Sanidra, because I do feel myself getting a little tired. What do my ancestors need me to do to get clarity of what I want or need to be fulfilled emotionally, romantically, family, and career? Okay. I'm going to go back to Old Faithful. I'm going to go back to Afro anime because that feels right. I'm in the market for a new tarot deck. I'm looking at the Luna Soul deck because I love the representation of the King of Swords in that. But if anybody has any recommendations for a tarot deck, let me know, because it's time. I feel like I need to add to my little family. Ancestors, angels, ascended masters, spirits that walk with me. My elevated ancestors. What does Sanidra need in order to be fulfilled? What does she need to work on in order to be fulfilled? What will bring her holistic fulfillment as it relates to career, love, family, etc.? Any wisdom shared is deeply appreciated. After tarot. Yeah, you bought that one up to me, and I like the artwork. The artwork is so clear, and it's really interesting. So I'm going to look into that. I think I need to actually, instead of buying online, I think I actually need to go to the spiritual store out here and play with the decks and see which one calls to me. But I have enjoyed the artwork in that one from what you've shared with me. You need to get your black ass out the house, and you need to be in celebration, baby. Like, literally, I feel like this card has come up for you before. The Three of Cups. You don't celebrate enough. You don't celebrate enough. You don't spend time with your friends or like-minded people. And because you don't celebrate enough, that phrase, all work and no play makes Jane a dull girl, exists for a reason, right? When you wake up every day and you do the same thing and you move through survival mode, it's really, really hard to be in a spirit of gratitude or appreciation. So Three of Cups is saying that you need to celebrate your life more, and you need to spend more time around people who celebrate you, whether it's them celebrating your milestones or just celebrating the fact that your black ass was born. You need to be in much more of a spirit of celebration to not only break you out of the isolation, but to let you remember that I just said every day above the ground is a blessing, right? And so the more that you can cultivate a spirit of thankfulness and celebration into your life, the easier it'll be for you to feel fulfilled. There is a separation between where your life is and where you thought it would be, right? And so you got to confront that. You got to do your shadow work. And every time I tell people to do their shadow work, they automatically think, Spirit, give me the language. I know what you want me to say, but give me the words. Don't do the surface level shadow work. Do the shadow work that you need, right? It's like you do the parts of shadow work that you're comfortable with or that you see other people doing, but you got to do your shadow work, right? And your shadow work, it seems like, and this is not a shadow work consultation, so I don't want to make assumptions, but based off of what you're articulating, there's a shadow happening between where you thought your life would be and where it is that's making you, and this is spirit's language, ungrateful, right? Four of Wands, homecoming and celebration. You need to do more work over your home. I don't know if it's necessarily a floor wash or maybe creating some sort of powder, but a lot of what's happening is that the energy of your house drains you. And I think that's why celebration is coming up as well. Your living environment is one that is not celebratory. And so you need to create it as a space or set it up as a space where it feels welcoming, it feels loving. And that in and of itself, because we spend most of our time at our homes, even if we have jobs outside of the home, right? Even if we're people with active social lives, the majority of our life is spent in our home. So you need to do some sort of cleanse, whether it's a smoke cleanse or a floor wash. You need to set up some sort of amulets, create some sort of power grid. You have to shift the energy in your home because a lot of that is making you feel, you don't feel comfortable in your living space. It's not a space of celebration for you. So those are the main things that I'm seeing your spirit say that you need to do so that you can have a little bit more fulfillment in your overall life. Okay? Love you all. We have a free class on Tuesday. 5 ways to navigate the spirit of provocation. That is the free class for Charm School lecture series this month of October. So come back and join us Tuesday, 8 p.m. And then I will be back for either a happy hour or an astro hour reading on Thursday. Same time, 8 o'clock. So Tuesday and Thursday, 8 o'clock, I will be here. So hopefully I'll see y'all and y'all will join me. Y'all have an amazing night. Be gentle with yourself. We have a lot of energy shifting tomorrow, right? Not only do we have the full moon in Aries, we have, what the fuck is the other placement? I forgot it already. Lord God, what is it? Go look at last week's astral hour so you know what I'm talking about. But I say that to say, be gentle with yourself tonight as well as tomorrow. There's a lot going on in terms of the energy around us, okay? Love you all. Take care. And I'll see you in 2 days. Bye.